Hi, so this is a lesson for level 4. This is Unit 3, Lesson B on page 24 of your textbook. And let's start this lesson with vocabulary. These are 12 statements. We're going to listen, and then you'll select for your own country whether these statements are true or false.
Page 24. Lesson B. Manners. 1. Building vocabulary and grammar. A. Listen. Are these statements about manners true in your country? Check true or false. 1.
Eating food on a subway or bus is bad manners.
2.
It's rude to cut in line.
3.
You should try to keep your voice down in public.
4.
You can offend someone by not bowing or shaking hands when you meet.
5.
People might stare at you for walking around barefoot.
6.
Having an argument in public is considered bad manners.
7.
It's impolite to walk into someone's home without taking off your shoes.
8.
Showing affection in public, holding hands or kissing, is inappropriate.
9.
You should try not to stand too close to people. It's considered rude.
10.
It's acceptable not to tip cab drivers.
11.
You should be careful not to point at people.
12.
It's customary to bargain with street vendors to get something cheaper. But it's not acceptable to do this in a store.
Okay, so these answers will all be different depending on what is acceptable or not in your home country. And then after you finish the true false, take a moment to sort these ideas into the following chart. It's acceptable to and it's not acceptable to. So take a moment to fill in this chart. Okay, so let's look at this introduction to the grammar. So look at the sentences above and then take a moment to choose the correct answer. Pause the video and then play again when you're ready. All right, so let's check what you have. Number 1, you should have selected cutting. Number 2, standing. Number 3, taking. Number 4, to bow. And number 5, to tip. And the top of the next page explains this with more detail. So we've talked a little bit in class for the level 3 textbook about verb plus ing. This is also called gerund, and to plus verb, which is also called infinitive. So when you have the subject of the sentence, this always, you will use the ing or gerund form. And you will use the ing form after prepositions. So by is a preposition, for is a preposition. You can think of ing or gerund as a noun. It does the same things that a noun does. So it can be in the subject position or follow prepositions. You'll use the to form after this pattern. So the sentence begins with its, and then there's a noun or adjective, and then is followed by the infinitive form. So it's important to see where in the sentence this word is to help you choose the correct form. And then here, a word about using not. Not has to come right before the word it's making negative. So here, to point is what I don't want. So not comes right before that. And then here, bowing, this is what I want to make negative. So it needs to go together. The placement of not can change the meaning of the sentence. So here, to say it's acceptable not to tip cab drivers, it means I can if I want. If I don't want to, okay, it's my choice. But here, it's not acceptable to tip cab drivers. The meaning is I shouldn't do it because this is the part that is being made negative, acceptable. So if you have any questions on this, please write it down so that we can go over it in our next Zoom meeting. And underneath here is practice. And the topic is eating at restaurants. So take a moment to please pause the video and write in your answers for these sentences. All right, so let's check what you have. So here, number 1, I have this it's pattern. So I want the to form to take. And same thing here. The sentence begins with it. So I'll also use the to form. This is subject position. So I need the ing. And again, this is the subject. So I need the ing form. Okay, number 4, I have its. So I need the to form. And then here again, it's. So I use the to form. 4 is a preposition. So I need to use the ing. And then number 7, subject position. So I use the ing. Again, subject position. I will say taking. Here I have a preposition. So again, I need the ing form. Here I have the subject position. So I need ing. And then again, here's the subject, ing. I have its. So I need that to form. And then finally, subject position requires the ing form. Okay, so the rest here is speaking practice. Review these and keep in mind so that if we have time to talk about this during the Zoom meeting, we will. And you can also make this list. So when you submit your photos of the work you did in this part of the textbook, also include this list. If you have room, you can write it here. You might have more space if you either type it out or write it on a separate paper. Okay, so that's all I have for this lesson. And again, please keep track of your questions so that we can talk over it when we meet. And I will see you soon. Bye-bye.